Let's turn our attention now to the quality of teaching and learning. Teaching and learning both are important, they go together, they are like two sides of the same coin. For teaching, learning is essential, and for learning, teaching is essential. And we will be focusing on both teaching and learning in government and in private sector schools. So, the quality of teaching and learning is a main factor in the rapid growth of private educational institutions in Pakistan. Now, private educational institutions at least promise better quality education in their institutions. All private schools necessarily do not do that, but at least they promise, and a lot of parents buy into this promise in the hope that that is what the schools are actually doing. The popular perception is that quality is much better in private schools than the government schools. The extent to which this perception is true is a matter of debate. Now, in the general public, the normal perception is that private schools offer better quality education. Now, in some of the provinces at least, like the Punjab and KPK, where the government has stepped in and have begun to improve the quality of education in the government schools, some of the government schools are also getting to that level of quality education, and there are a lot of private schools that don't necessarily deliver to that promise. So whether private schools, all private schools offer better quality education compared to all government schools really is a matter of debate. One can debate on this either way. Yes, some government schools do it, some private schools do it, but all is not necessarily correct. Generally, quality is hardly questioned as far as high-cost private school chains which cater to the elite are concerned. Now, when we talk of quality and parents are willing to pay and they can afford to pay the high cost of the tuition fee for sending the child to the school, then they assume that the schools are delivering, and therefore quality education is not really questioned by the elite class. The expectation by the school and the parents is that if the parents are paying, then better quality education is being provided, especially in schools that offer the O and A level programs. The issue of quality is raised more frequently for low-cost private schools, which are prevalent in both rural and urban areas. So the question of quality really comes in when a school doesn't charge that much fee and yet promises to provide better quality education. So the question in parents' minds then is, if a school that charges $10,000 per month versus a school that charges $2,000 per month and both promise quality education, is the lower tuition fee school really delivering quality education? And so, unfortunately, quality is tied with a price tag. The assumption being that the higher the cost of fee, the better the quality of education. That is not necessarily correct. Andrabi, Das, and Ijaz argued that parents infer quality variation between schools through the range of fees, which varies in predictable ways to measure school inputs. So really, the comparison should be the training of teachers, the quality of teaching, and therefore the results. Unfortunately, it is not that. It is the cost that the parent pays, the tuition fee versus the result. So if I pay more, my child should get better results. If another parent is paying less, that child should get lower results. That is not fair and not necessarily very realistic either. While correlation of fees with measured inputs taken as the crude indicator of quality can be helpful for the households to choose a good private school, it is not necessarily useful in many instances, especially when my income doesn't match the cost of tuition fee that the school demands. Then I have serious issues. But in and among the elite class, it is of no concern at all, and schools are actually charging exorbitant, extremely high fees for a quality education that they promise to deliver for the students in their classrooms. Parental choices are affected by many other crucial factors as well, such as personal preferences, marketing and publicity campaigns, and scores of students in annual examinations. So the fee structure is one concern, which is tied with the quality of education. But then there are three other factors that come into play. Personal preferences. I may be willing as the parent to make the sacrifice and pay more for my student, sacrificing in other areas. The second is marketing and publicity campaigns that the schools indulge in. After all, the schools do want to attract students, and so their marketing and their campaign to attract more students is also something that parents consider. And then, of course, a question that is normally asked is, what are the results of your school? What kind of results do your students produce? And those three factors put together also influence parental choices for schools for their children.